Hello Hanji Kidda, what's up people? Back with another video, and today we're reviewing Ipswich Town versus Manchester United. But before we get into any of that, you know we gotta do the shout outs. Massive shout outs to Angel Care Homes for all your care needs in the Black Country and Birmingham area. Massive shout outs to Mark Darcy for all your formal menswear needs. And of course the Desi Ballers, highlighting all South Asians at all levels in the beautiful game. I'll put their details in the description, so make sure you check them out. And if you're brand new here, or if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and turn the notifications on. We want to hit 5k subscribers by the end of the season. It's not looking too good at the moment, but we have hit over 1k and we've been going less than a year. So big up all you legends that subscribe. But if you haven't already, or if you have, tell your friends, tell your family. Let's grow this channel as we bring more and more content. But let's get to it then. So Super Sunday and Manchester United were in town. They were here for the first time, or there, because I'm not currently in Ipswich obviously. But they were at Portman Road for the first time since 2002 with that Rude the Rat incident. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the match preview or the vlog itself. He's a rat. United fans, you know it as well. But anyway, this was their first visit. Not the first time we played each other, obviously. We played each other back in 2016 up at their gaff when Luke Chambers was left on the bench. And Mr. Wayne Rooney, Martial, and I think, was it Pereira, the other goal scorer? And they won 3-0 that day in the, was it called Carabao Cup then? I think it was. But yeah, the League Cup anyway. But this was the first time we were playing in the Premier Leagues, like I said, since 2002. All the focus going into the game was around Ruben Amorim. He was going to be this great saviour that was going to come in from Portugal and save Manchester United. You know, Man United, who were now struggling, and to be honest, if it wasn't for Onana, probably would be in a relegation scrap themselves. But Ruben Amorim was going to come to Manchester and he was going to save, and everything was going to be happy, and United fans were going to get top four. But they forgot that they were going to play little old Ipswich Town. So in terms of formations and lineups, it was as expected in terms of formations for both teams. So I predicted, you know, Ruben would go for his 3-4-3, which we'd seen at Porto, and that was the case. There was two personnel changes from what I'd predicted. So it was instead of Martinez, he had Johnny Evans, and instead of Lenny Yoro, he had Mazraoui actually played in that position. Diallo then played as a wing back, and then Garnacho come into the team, who obviously I didn't have starting. So it's pretty much as expected. And then for Town, it was just one change from the team that had beaten Tottenham a couple of weeks before that, with Wes Burns coming in for Ben Johnson and Karius keeping his place in midfield next to Sammy. So all the world's media, all the cameras, they're all on Ruben Amorim. He walked out, he took his place in the dugout, and after about 90 seconds, they got off to a flyer, didn't they? Ahmad skipped away from Karius and Davis, cuts inside and squares it across to Rashford, who just taps it home. 1-0. Not sure why Rashford needed to salute in front of us or whatever. I said I wouldn't give him shit, and I didn't, to be fair. But I don't know, you were just trying to make yourself a bit of a pantomime villain from the beginning there. So that was just a bit odd behaviour. But anyway, United fans and Ruben Amorim are thinking, brilliant, Cloud9, here we go. And then after that, United, I think Eriksen has a chance, which he kind of blazes wide. But then we woke up. Like we've seen many times before, when we go behind, we then go in upper gear. You know, Wesley Burns running down that wing, cuts the ball across, and Schmodix hits wide. He then squares it back to Schmodix at the edge of the area, who then has a shot which is pretty direct straight at Onana. A bit of an easy save for him there. You know, Hutchinson has a shot, which keeper makes a save on that. Karius has a shot, which again just goes a little bit over. And I think in between that time, United probably have one other chance where Garnacho is down on the left wing, cuts inside and then tries to curl it into the bottom right corner, but it goes wide and Muric watches it just go wide anyway. If it was on target, Muric makes an easy save, to be honest. And then on the 40th minute, Davis cuts inside the box, plays a ball from his weaker right foot across. It's a good ball. And Liam Delap, you'd bank your mortgage, you'd bet your house, you'd bet everything on it that he would have scored. But somehow Onana makes a save. Yes, you can say it's a very good save from Onana. But you know, the form he's in and everything, he should really be burying that. But we look like we're close, and you felt that, okay, we can get a goal and go into half time at 1-1. And then the breakthrough. Sammy wins the ball back just in front of us, so in front of our edge of our penalty area, gives the ball to Karius. Karius then skips past a few. They're then working it. We're on the edge of the United box now between Sammy, Karius, Burns, and Hutchinson. They're keeping the ball. Goes back out to Burns. Burns gives it back to Omari. And at that position on the pitch, Omari's only got one thing on his mind. That's, I'm going to make a bit of space and I'm going to bang it. And that's exactly what he did. Had a bit of a deflection. I don't know if it was Mazraoui or Evans that kind of goes to head it and it deflects it. But it's going on target. It's going goal bound. And I don't think Onana saving that. What a goal. Starboy, he'd been hinting at it for weeks that he was going to break through with a goal or assist, and he's done it. Like we'd said many times last season, he's done it again now in the Premier League, and we are buzzing. And I said there's a bit of fisticuffs after that. There's a little incident in the kind of corner by the cobbled under the screen where Delap's like he charges 100 mile an hour. And him and that Mazraoui have a bit of a kind of heated exchange or whatever. I mean, at the end of the game, them two were having a laugh and joke with each other. So it's good to see that, you know, those things are just on the pitch or whatever. But yeah, going into half time, we were definitely the stronger team. And you felt, you know what? We offered a lot more. We could have easily been 3-1 up in that first half. But it's Manchester United, the quality they've got. And, you know, Ruben's clearly a top coach. He just turned over City a couple of weeks ago. So don't write him off. In the second half, United did look a bit more direct. And yes, we kind of sat back a bit more and looked to defend a bit more. But they weren't really creating a lot. There was one chance, I think, where Garnacho has a shot and it's kind of rolling. But then Burgess kind of clears it from like the 6-yard area. So it's not really goalwards. But other than that, and then real late on, Diallo has a chance where he just skips inside down that right wing. But he doesn't really get a shot away. But there wasn't really many saves that Muric had to make. You know, obviously he had to claim the ball and you know, command his area and stuff. And I'll get into player ratings in a bit. But there wasn't really a lot that he had to do. And we were looking at it like, we could do something here. We'd obviously beaten Tottenham a couple of weeks ago. You know, this is not the same Manchester United from years ago either. So they're there for the taking. That's what we were feeling in the stands. We felt, you know, there's going to be a couple of chances here and we could take it. But then, yeah, even when Chaplin Chappers comes on and he almost scores, you know, the ball comes across to him. And if you look, it's Chaplin that dinks the ball in. And actually, it's a really good piece of play. So Murray chases the ball. Shaw recovers it. But he doesn't fully recover it from there. And I think it's O'Shea then that wins the ball back. And then Chaplin dinks the ball to the back post. Jack Clark can't quite get it. You know, it's not quite in the position for Clark to kind of shoot. So he brings it down. And then Clark pays it back across. And it's Chaplin there, edge of 6-yard box almost. Well, penalty spot. And I think, yeah, there's a bit of confusion between him and Ali, and the ball doesn't really harm Onana. It's a bit of a comfortable save for him there. But we looked the stronger team, and you felt if any team's going to score, it's going to be us. Like, we could nick this game. A little old Ipswich Town, we were here to spoil Ruben's party. And to be fair, if it wasn't for Onana, who I think, you know, was their man of the match, if it wasn't for him, we'd have taken all 3 points. You know, Onana definitely saved Ruben. So in terms of Manchester United and, you know, what I expected and what I've seen, you know, it's fair to say that, yes, the Ten Hag factor has killed a lot of belief within that dressing room. You know, that was evident to see just by the body language on some of those players. These are not players that are at the top of their game. These are players that are clearly low in confidence. But the real strength for that squad is unfortunately on paper. And what I mean by that is you look at some players and I don't want to get onto them, but I'm going to have to give you some examples. So, like, I look at Casemiro and Eriksen, you know, players that are meant to be maybe not the top of their game, but you do think, you know, quality players have done a lot in their career, still potentially could offer a lot. But that game passed them by. They were passengers. Sammy and Kayust, like, they ran rings around them without even barely breaking a sweat, to be honest. Johnny Evans, you know, Johnny Evans playing left centre back was a recipe for disaster anyway. He's not even in his prime. I don't think he was renowned for being the quickest defender. And you're going to put him up against Wes Burns and Omari and Delap. It was always going to get bullied, and that's really what happened. I thought Delit did okay from their point of view. Mazraoui he's a fullback playing as right centre back again. Bizarre decision. You know, I was expecting and I predicted him to play as a fullback role. But credit to Ruben Amorim, because I thought Ahmad was, you know, probably their man of the match between him and Onana in terms of attacking threats and plays that really were trying to hurt us. Ahmad was the only one really. You know, Bruno, obviously, I don't like the guy. He just looks like a rat. He always moans. He's just a little rat, isn't he? But, you know, I have to respect the quality he has as a player. And you think, okay, you know what he can do with the ball and all the rest of it. But again, he looked like a player where the game was just passing him by. Most of those United players were outclassed by little old Ipswich. And if I'm a Man United fan, I would be embarrassed. You know, a lot of these United fans and content creators and all the rest of it were predicting 3-1, 4-1, this, that, and the other. Yeah, you know, they'll do Ipswich, this, that, and the other. Just goes to show how you don't really know football, and no one had really been, you know, looking at Ipswich and what we could do and what we were capable of. If I'm in Ruben's shoes, the priority is steadying the ship, you know, getting your brand of football, almost like we saw with McKenna when he came in. So we steadied the ship a little. We were leaking goals, so we got that sorted. Then we couldn't score goals, so then we started scoring. He had the summer, and then we attacked the league. So yeah, United fans, I think you got to be realistic. You know, this season you got to solidify yourself, put some good performances in, and then rebuild over the summer, because there will be a lot of players there that won't be playing the first game and next season for Manchester United. Like, you can see there's players there that can't do what Ruben will ask them to do. So let's get to some player ratings then. Muric, I thought he did well. You know, didn't really have to make a lot of saves, but commanded his area well. Distribution's getting a lot better. Clearly confident on the ball. You know, some good and smart passes at times. Does make me a bit nervous at times, but that's the high risk, high reward football we play. There were some questions over the goal. Could he have done better? Should he have come out for that ball or whatever? I think, to be honest, it was that early on in the game. And I think a lot of us were just trying to settle into the game. And it's that little sucker punch, really. So if you're being ultra critical, maybe you could have done something. But then the same, was it O'Shea? I think he was the defender. You could have said the same there as well. So O'Shea, Burgess, or even Kayust and Davis, you know, the way Ahmad stepped away. But yeah, really solid performance from Ario Muric. Leaf, again, another brilliant game from him. Getting forward, defending, again, bar that opening thing with Ahmad where he skips away from him and Kayust. Like I said, with Muric, that's probably the only criticism. Everything else, though, getting forward, almost sets up the chance for Delap. You know, he was just an absolute live wire. He was having so much fun down that left wing. You know, how long until Tuchel calls up Leif Davis to the England team? I think we have to start a petition soon, man, because it just doesn't make sense. But yeah, brilliant performance from Leif Davis. Cameron Burgess, I thought he did well, you know, again, solid at the back, makes that goal-bound clearance. I guess I don't think it was goal line, but goal-bound clearance or whatever. Won everything, you know, really kind of pocketed each United player up there. Absolute brick house. And, you know, the ball through to Davis to then set up Delap, who then obviously Onana saves. We all think about Cameron Burgess as this head it, kick it type of defender, but forget how good he is with the ball at his feet and how he can find a good pass. So yeah, really solid performance from Cameron Burgess. O'Shea, for me, just missed out on making that top three for Man of the Match contenders. but phenomenal. You know, like I said, after the Tottenham game and all the rest of it, he's had made me do a 180. You know, the guy, the pace, power, you know, decision making with the ball at his feet is very good as well. There was a part in the second half when we're pressing him high up the pitch. We've lost the ball, but he then jumps in and wins the ball. And then there's another part where he wins the ball a bit rough, and little rat boy didn't like it, Mr. Bruno, and he started crying, and then Dara wasn't backing down. But yeah, man, real solid performance from Dara O'Shea. Axel Tuanzebe up against familiar foe. What a performance from Big Axe. You know, we talk about how good we are and how solid we are with him in the team. We know what he's like defensively, but going forward as well, he offers so much. That link up on the wing, you know, familiar with Wes Burns and stuff like that from last season. He didn't look out of his depth at all. And I read a stat the other day which said in Axel Tuanzebe's last 2 games, bearing in mind he's played the full 90, so that's against Manchester United and Tottenham, he has been dribbled past a total of 0 times. That's right, 0 times. You will not get past Big Axe. But yeah, what a performance from Axe. And I think I'm right in saying that his contract ends in the summer. So in January, he can start talking to other clubs. So Ashton, Luke, Muka, get a contract out, man. Just ask him what he wants, man, and get him to sign, because he has been phenomenal. We were rolling down the street, smoking Manu, sipping on gin and Cayuse. What a performance from him, man. He's, you know, last week he was phenomenal. Against United again, he stepped it up another level. You can see why he was playing for Napoli. And I think we've got a obligation, if we stay up, to pay 8 million or 9 million or whatever. Money well spent, mate. So, you know, if we, and hopefully we do stay up, him in the door is someone we definitely need. I think he's a good age as well. I think he's like 26 maybe. The goal, so the legs to get forward and carry the ball, and obviously, you know, then keep the ball with Sammy, with Omari and Burns, and then eventually Omari scores. But then there's this big tackle. I think it was on Garnacho in the second half, and Garnacho's away. But yo, Cayuse just gallops and just swallows up the ground, and he just makes this bad boy sliding tackle. Like, it was all in. He had to make that perfect, because if he didn't, that's a penalty all day and a bad injury. But he timed it to perfection. But yeah, Jens Cayuse, what a performance from him. And he's up there for my man of the match. Sammy Morsy. Now, when you talk about class and when you talk about players adapting to their environment, this is what we mean. Because Sammy came to us in League One. We all knew he was too good for League One. We all knew he was a championship player in League One. And that was proven. He was the best player on the pitch week in, week out. And then we went to the championship, and we knew he was a good championship player, but he showed he was the best player week in, week out. And now he's come to the Premier League, and he's done exactly the same. He's pocketing the likes of Casemiro, of Bruno Fernandes and Eriksen without even really breaking a sweat. There's a reason we call him our Egyptian king. There's a reason I say that he is the top 5 central midfielders in the Premier League at the moment. Argue with your nan if you disagree. But he was phenomenal. He was everywhere. And, you know, in that first couple, was it about half an hour mark or whatever, Rashford's away, and Sammy is not letting Rashford go. Comes straight in, wins the ball, bang, and you know, takes Rashford with him. Not a foul, never a foul. And rightly so, referee didn't give it as a foul, and Rashford got up and brushed himself off. And then, you know, we're talking about turning on a diamond. We're talking about breaking up the play. He breaks up the play, gives it to Cayuse, and then they're up the other end, keeping the ball, finding Omari, who then obviously to Burns, back to Omari, who then scores. Dribbling past players, all these type of attributes you talk about as a central midfielder, he's got it in his locker, and he's got it in abundance. So yeah, man, massive performance from Sammy, and another player who's up there for man of the match. Sammy Schmodix, you know what he's going to offer you. He presses and runs all day. He's got the skill, and he's just a bit of a nightmare. Just like Chaplin, he can ghost he's with that defender. Next thing you know, he's ghosted 10 yards that side and defenders lost him or whatever. So, really solid performance from him. Unlucky not to score. I think the first chance he's stretching, so it goes wide. Second chance, he's got to do better there, really. So he'll know that, he'll be, I'm sure, doing the practice on Playford Road. But, solid performance from Sammy Schmodics. But yeah, for a player that scored a fair few times against us at Portman Road, he's struggling to find that first goal for us at Portman Road. But as we've seen, on the road, he's phenomenal. So yeah, man, really good performance from Sammy Schmodics. Starboy Omari Hutchinson. I keep saying to you, he is the real deal. I said in my preview, he would turn up because I said it's big game Omari, and that's what he did. Goal aside, because yes, the goal was phenomenal, but he was twisting up players left, right, centre. You talk about the best young English players. They were on display on Sunday, and they were all in Ipswich Town tops. He got away from plays with ease. You talk about end product, he's got that. You talk about link-up play, he's got that. You talk about aggressiveness in terms of winning the ball back, he's got that. And he's only like 21, 20. Is he 21? I can't remember his age. But he's only young. And he's just going to get better and better and better. 22 million looks like an absolute steal. But yeah, I'm so pleased for him and his family. Absolutely deserved. Scored on the biggest stage of them all on Super Sunday against Manchester United in the Premier League. And it wasn't a shit goal. It was a typical Omari Hutchinson signature goal, top bins. So yeah, excellent performance from Omari. Another player who's up there for Man of the Match for me. Wes Burns, really good to see Wesley out. There's been a few idiots on socials, reason he had to shut his socials down and all the rest of it. But let's not forget what a player he's been for us. It was only last season that we were talking about one of the greatest goals that we'd ever seen at Portman Road, courtesy of Wes Burns. The player that we paid, 5 figures for from Fleetwood Town is performing in the Premier League, and he did well. He got down that wing, he caused Dalot problems, and even finds the ball back to Hutchinson, just the right play, not rushing things, looking for the right option. And he's got an assist now. Technically he's now registered an assist, so fair play to Wesley Burns, man, and hopefully that'll do him the world of good and his confidence will grow and he can now kick on. Liam Delap, man, like I said, not the next Harry Kane, the better Harry Kane. He's going to the very top, man. He'll be in the England squad before the end of the season. If we're looking at current England strikers, yes, Harry Kane's at the top, Ollie Watkins, and then it's Delap. I don't think there's another English striker apart from Watkins and Harry Kane that's better than Liam Delap. And come the end of the season, he might be up there with Ollie Watkins. But yeah, really good performance from Liam Delap. Would have expected him to score one of those chances. That little cheeky flick, I forgot to mention that. The little cheeky flick he had where Onana again saved. 2 big saves from Onana. And Delap was unlucky not to get on the score sheet. So in terms of Man of the Match then, obviously we got Jens Kajust, like I said, rolling down the street, smoking Man U, sipping on gin and Kajust. And then we got Sammy Morsy, he's Egyptian, Portman Road is his kingdom. And Omari Hutchinson, they all want to dance with Omari. But for me, so in third, I'm going to give it to Jens. And I know a lot of people would have given him Man of the Match. And to make it easier for myself, because it was a hard decision, to make it easier, I based it on the fact that he didn't complete the 90 minutes. So just purely on that reason, he finished third. But he, like I said, he was phenomenal. We saw his ability going forward, and we saw his ability defensively as well. I didn't think he could up his performance that he did at Tottenham, but he managed to do it. So I can't wait to see what he does on Saturday against Forest. Second, you can see his shirts behind me. They are his match-worn shirts. Little brag there, if you like. But yeah, Sammy Morsy, phenomenal. Didn't put a foot wrong. Really did well. And like I said, he's always one of, if not the best player on the pitch week in, week out. And the only reason I didn't give him Man of the Match is because for me, number one man of the match is Starboy Omari. He's a player that, you know, an attacking player, and you look at output and you want a goal, you want an assist. There's a lot of pressure on him as a young lad, big transfer fee. And he's been showing the levels. He's showing them over the last couple of weeks. And it was so good to now put his name on that stat sheet, you know. Next to goal, you got Hutchinson, 43-minute goal. And aside from the goal as well, there's brilliant play where he's just twisting up players. The ball comes to his feet and you're thinking there's no chance he's getting out of it. And he just wriggles away. There's a video, yeah, I remember seeing it once. It's like on, maybe on YouTube or something, of some like lizard. Is it like a lizard? I think it's like a lizard, yeah. And he's trying to get across the desert. But the desert has got all these snakes. And these snakes are trying to grab it, wrap it, like wrap him up and all the rest of it. But this lizard gets away, just twists up here, twists up there. That's what Omari was doing. Omari was twisting up away from them snakes on Sunday. So, yeah, really, really big performance. And for me, Omari Starboy Hutchinson is man of the match. Big up the Hutchinson-Giroud family. And then before we close, I want to do a little... There's no donut of the day, but I want to give a little shout out to the ref watch. I talked about it in the preview. Anthony Taylor, we'd seen him. He'd refereed us already this season against West Ham. He'd obviously been reprimanded by the PGMOL earlier on in the season for giving out too many yellow cards against Bournemouth and Chelsea. I thought he's probably one of the best referees we've had in a couple of years, to be honest. Let the game flow. Wasn't falling for the kind of theatrics and stuff that these United players were trying to do. And I thought he was fair. You know, sometimes you worry about people getting too card happy, but, you know, a fair referee. So, you know, I will rightly or wrongly, I will cuss the referee and call them out when they've done something wrong. So it's only right that I give them credit where they've had a good game. So Anthony Taylor, you're the opposite of the donut of the day. What should we call him? Tell me in the comments, man. What should we call him? If they're a crap ref, we call him a donut of the day. Then what are we going to call him when they've had a good performance? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, man, good performance from Anthony Taylor, man. So there we go. It finished Ipswich Town 1, Manchester United 1, and the town go marching on. It was almost 3 years to the day that we lost 2-0 at home to Rotherham in League One. Rotherham, who a lot of people said, and in my opinion, were the best team in the league that season. They went on to win the league title, and 2-0 flattered us that day. It could have easily been 3-4, maybe 5-0. That team, in that lineup, we had Sammy Morsey and Connor Chaplin, and on the bench was Cameron Burgess. Against Manchester United, we had Sammy Morsey bossing it, Cameron Burgess, you know, absolute rock solid, and Connor Chaplin narrowly missing out on scoring. And the reason I say that is it's perspective. Just 3 years ago, we looked off the pace in League One. 3 years later, under the guidance of this club and ownership group and Ashton and McKenna and the coaching team and the quality and effort and desire of these players. And I know some people laugh and joke about the run into adversity stuff, but you know, it clearly makes a difference, because in those 3 years, we've gone from mid-table League One to outplaying and outfighting Manchester United in the Premier League. And before we check out, I just want to do a couple quick shout outs. So Chris King, that's Eloise's King from Ipswich Ladies, Lawrence, Neil, Alex, Oliver, who sells the programs by the North Stand, and Steve, my pal Saj's mate. Big up all those legends. They all come up to me recently, and I keep forgetting to shout you out on the videos, but they all come up and said they watched the content, really liked the show and all the rest of it. So big up all you legends, man. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you to everyone that engages with the content and all the rest of it. Like I said, I am trying to grow this channel. I want to get to 5k subscribers by the end of the season. We only launched this on December 9th. So, you know, when we played Middlesbrough away. And in fact, if you click playlist, you can see all the old vlogs as well. Put them all in a nice little folder for you. Yeah, that was the first game that we vlogged for this. And if you look at the quality on that vlog to the one we've done recently, as you can see, it's evolved. And I'd like to think it's at a good standard. Any other ideas? Always happy to hear them. So, you know, if you see me at a game and you watch the content and you want to have a chat, come over, have a chat, man. I'm quite a friendly guy. So, yeah, big up all you legends, because we were rolling down the street, smoking Man U, sipping on gin and Cayuse. I'll catch you on the next one.